So after 3 years of starting Bleach, I finally finished the series and caught up to the 1000-year Blood War arc. Now, out of the big three, Bleach has to be my least favorite. Now, Bleach is not a bad show. However, there was a lot of negatives than positives in my opinion. Honestly though, the same flaws that the other big three have are the reasons why I didn't enjoy Bleach. There was a lot of filler in Bleach, not as much as Naruto Shippuden, but at least the fillers in Naruto were pretty enjoyable. Not only that, but it felt like there was a ton more fillers in Bleach. Just because out of the 366 episodes of Bleach, 163 of them were filler. Compare that to Naruto Shippuden where there's 500 episodes and 199 are filler. The pacing is also really annoying when it comes to Bleach. It's a lot of skipping to different characters with their side quest battles. This would be fine if it was only for like 1 or 2 episodes, but it's usually way longer than that. And sometimes it even cuts to like 3 fights happening at the same time. That's also a big complaint that I have with One Piece, but it makes up for it with big moments and interesting characters. The Espadas and Aizen are the best part of Bleach though. They're such a badass and menacing group that Ichigo was literally getting mauled alive by their number 4 strongest member. But in the beginning, the only real villains there were either filler villains like the Bounce or the Soul Reapers themselves. We knew it wasn't gonna be any real stakes happening when it came to those battles. Those are really all of my negatives though. The series has some really good looking fight scenes, amazing scores, a lot of characters, but a majority of them pop up here and there and they never get to the point of being forgettable. I love these characters. Not only are they all different and unique, but they're not like the shonen tropes that we see usually a lot these days. There are characters though that we could basically just not care about, like Chad or Soifon, but this series doesn't just completely give up on them like how Naruto Shippuden does to some of their side characters. They get their moments to shine, especially during the finale of the Arrancar arc. It was actually the Arrancar arc that made me engaged and interested in this series again. So again, it's not bad. I really liked the ending half of the series, so if I were to rank it, I'll definitely give it like a 7. But that's my little quickie on Bleach, but I decided to take a week break to prepare myself for Bleach 1000-Year Blood War. My expectations for this sequel was decently high, especially with the name 1000-Year Blood War. You expect a lot of violence and tragedies happening throughout this entire series, but on the other hand, I was scared it wouldn't live up to the hype, especially for a new villain to follow up on Aizen, the main villain of the whole series. Not only that, but also the other main flaws that I mentioned in the original Bleach. I was hoping that they would get fixed, but I was scared that they were just going to continue with the same formula. But honestly, after watching the first season and the 4 episodes that are currently out for season 2, I honest to God never thought that I would fall so hard for this series. Bleach 1000-Year Blood War is a direct continuation of the finale of Bleach, except now Ichigo and the gang are in the middle of a blood war between the Soul Reapers and the Quincy's. The Quincy King has returned with a group of Quincy's and Arrancars to exact his revenge on the Soul Society and continue the bloody warfare that is the 1000-Year Blood War. Everything about Bleach has just been risen up to an 11. This series has not only fixed every flaw from the original, but also improves on the things that were already good. This sequel has no filler episodes, with the first season only being 13 episodes long, and the second about to be roughly the same, and still with another 2 seasons coming soon to finish this arc. With it only being 13 episodes, the pacing is so much faster, but never too fast, to the point of things feeling rushed to an extent, but we'll talk about that later. This also fixed the problem of characters having their own side quest battles. The fights are much quicker, more intense, and most fights finish as soon as they begin. And with the new animation style, it just looks absolutely stunning. The animation for all of the characters, locations, and fights are all done perfectly well and look so smooth. There's even moments with CGI and it looks really good, and that's coming from a non-CGI anime fan. But this series did the unthinkable and made a villain not surpassing Aizen, but definitely on par with him. probably the most intimidating and best villain in the entire series, Yuhavaha. Not only does he have an army of Quincy's who are extremely strong on their own and a little twist villain that I won't mention for spoilers, but he has been shown to not only be as strong as Yamamoto, but even Aizen. He also surprisingly plays a really big role in the whole series altogether, even before this arc, with a ton of crazy foreshadowing that I never really expected from a show like Bleach. But this show really shocked me, and it even shocked me with the amount of fatalities that this show has. Bleach has always been a bit bloody, but the brutality of the kills in this series lives up to the name 1,000-Year Blood War. Not to spoil too much, but there was a scene where Ichigo was trying to communicate with the Soul Society, and all he hears on the other line are people getting slaughtered, screaming, and all of his friends panicking and crying for help. It honestly felt like a scene from a horror movie. It was so eerie and creepy, and it made the entire show way more intense and made me engage to see what's to come. This series blew my expectations out of the water. Bleach was a 7 out of 10 at best, but I could say that this arc could be a close 10 out of 10. There are some flaws like the story structure being simplistic or how the second invasion felt a bit rushed, but those two flaws aren't even that big of a deal when you put everything together. The story may be simplistic in hindsight, but with all of the foreshadowing and extra background knowledge that we get, it completely makes up for it, especially since the whole point of this arc is really just action based, which this series is doing a phenomenal job at. For once, I'm actually very excited and proud of being a Bleach fan. It was honestly a mission to watch some of the early episodes and arcs of this series that I had to drop it a couple of times. But finally making it to the end and getting to this arc, it feels like I'm getting rewarded for sticking along with this series. If you haven't watched the 1,000-Year Blood War arc or even Bleach in general, I highly suggest you guys do. And by the way, always skip the fillers. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. What are your guys' thoughts on the 1,000-Year Blood War arc? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.